welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to Gaming and Trinity Continuum Steam Wars. Yes, we launched our Steam Wars crowdfunding campaign yesterday as of time of recording and upload, and I have no doubt it is doing well, but I wanted to make a video about it as well. Why? Because whenever a creative type, such as myself, sees something through from conception to execution, we want to tell people about it. Yes, I know it can get a little irritating, but I won't apologize, because when we create something, especially a brand new game, and we're excited about it, we want people to hear about it, we want people to play it, we want people to check it out, we want people to put a little bit of money down and help us continue to do this wonderful thing. Steam Wars is no exception. Myself and Eddie Webb co-developed Trinity Continuum Steam Wars. The origin material, Steam Wars itself, is a graphic novel by Larry Blameyer, a frequent collaborator, I should say, and you can actually find Steam Wars itself available on Amazon, among other places. It's a wonderful graphic novel, and this is the latest game in the Trinity Continuum universe. I should say universes, because the Trinity Continuum does not act in a single chronological linearity. It's a continuum. There are many continuums within it, and there are many worlds within them. And so we already have Aether and Aegis, Adventure and Aeon, and Aberrant, of course, everyone's favourite, Anima, and lots of other smaller windows into different realities around. This is the first of our Trinity Continuum games that uses the StoryPath Ultra system. And what does that mean? Well, until now, all of the Trinity Continuum games have used StoryPath. StoryPath Ultra is a system that we devised for the world below, at the gates, Curseborn. You will have heard of me speak about it if you've been watching this channel at any length. And we have now adapted Trinity Continuum, upgraded it, streamlined it, made it fit within StoryPath Ultra, and adjusted StoryPath Ultra to fit the Trinity Continuum. What does that actually mean in practice? Well, it means a lovely, simple system that I would imagine anyone can get into. A whole slew of playable options. There are so many roles you can take on where you operate your Steam rig, which we'll get onto. Loads of different ways to modify your characters, loads of edges that make your character talented, you could say. But beyond that, of course, you've got your Steam rig. And your Steam rig is probably the big highlight of this show. The Steam rig is your walking battle tank, your Metal Gear, your Iron Giant, your steampunk Colossus that you will be commanding into battle. Yes, this is a mech game as well as an RPG, because a lot of people have been asking us to make a mech game on Onyx Path, and when we discovered Steam Wars, with thanks to Larry Blameyer for coming up with it, we thought this is it. This is our great opportunity, a wonderful way in to playing mechs, rigs in this case, in a Trinity Continuum RPG. It was a brilliant marriage of ideas. Now, what is the game itself? Well, it's set in 1897, which is a crucial point in history, which point in history isn't crucial, in the sense of geopolitics, industry, war technology. Everything is proceeding apace. We're at the dawn of the 20th century. We know in our history that things are going to change markedly by the time the Great War rolls around. In this game, an elemental transfiguration event has been occurring just underneath the surface of the Earth. Started at the North Pole and seems to have been sweeping down around the Northern Hemisphere steadily in waves across the course of the 19th century. This creates certain volatile elements, including one key element in this game, condensed coal. Condensed coal is what is used for fueling these steam rigs. It is incredibly volatile. You need expert hands to manage it, to get the best out of it. But if you can, it is the best power source known to man and can completely turn the axis of power in the world, this imperial world, on its head. There are not infinite deposits of this condensed coal. And so wars break out. Wars break out because they seem to be concentrated in areas that are going to be fought over. And what's more, if you're at all familiar with history of the 19th century and early 20th century, you will know that alliances between powers are constantly in flux. There are still people who are almost within living memory of the Napoleonic Wars. They remember Europe being at war. They remember those age-old rivalries. And we've, in the meantime, had the German Confederate States versus Denmark in the Schleswig Danish wars. We've had the Franco-Prussian wars, of course, in the southern hemisphere. There's the Boer War, the Zulu wars. There are wars, of course, in China, and there's the American Civil War. A lot has been taking place in the 19th century, and so when we join our game in 1897, we are, well, in a war. It's the Second Steam War, because we've already laid the groundwork. There's a thick setting chapter in this book that you can choose to use if you want to help set up the 1897 of this game. And your character is constructed of 3 paths. The first is your role, the role you play on your steam rig. The second is your origin. What kind of background do you come from? What does that qualify you for? How does that influence your aspirations? And the third, and this is the big political one, is your alliance. Now, in most games, every player in a crew is going to be of the same alliance, but not always, because there are alliances in this game between various nations that will occasionally intersect. They may not be outwardly at war with each other, they may serve mercenary contracts with each other. And this is where things get really interesting. You can put some really interesting characters in the same place. If you're fans of mech games, or indeed mech media, if you love video games, like even going down to the sort of nitty-gritty of Victoria or Hearts of Iron, or even classic board games like Risk, you will know the way this game is going to kind of play on the grand scale, except the big difference is, of course, you have your steam rigs. And this game delivers in the sheer volume of varieties of rig you can not just take on as your player options, but build, because there's loads of different components. You can build your own war machine and go to war in it, serving your power, whether it is the iron whether it's the iron ring, whether it's De Lance, sorry, I thought of something different, whether it's Fulcrum, whether it's the Confederation of the Sea. There are all these different alliances, the Dual Entente, and we have alliances, for instance, between Prussia and the Scandinavian nations. Yes, Prussia in 1897. That's curious, and you'll find out why when you read into the history. We have the Dual Entente between Russia and France. We have the Iron Ring between Britain, America, and Japan. There are a lot of different alliances that are playing parts in this game, and there are very few countries in the Northern Hemisphere, which is where we've reached in the core book, that aren't a part of it. So I think there's a lot to appeal, especially if you're a bit of a history nerd like me. The combat in Steam Wars is explosive. It's dynamic. Steam rigs pack a punch. Unless you have just the right edge, being a solitary infantryman pointing a rifle up at a steam rig isn't going to get you very far against one. And that steam rig is going to have a power advantage, if you're more familiar with classic story path, scale over that infantryman enough to just go splat, crush him. Anyway, there is so much going on in this game. And not only is it artistically brilliant, because we've used so much of Larry Blameyer's fantastic art for it, it is wonderfully well written. The writers did a superb job, not just coming up with material for the game, but researching it as well. So it feels appropriate to the era despite its steampunk aesthetic. Now, you may be thinking, as a fan of Trinity, how does this fit in with Aether? How does it fit in with adventure and so on? Well, read the manuscript and find out, because all of a sudden, in between Aether and adventure, we've got this new part of the Trinity Continuum. There's a part of the Trinity Continuum not everyone is aware of, and that is the existence of multiple worlds. But read the manuscripts and you'll find out about that a little more. Anyway, I will leave it there, because this has been a lengthy promo. But I really hope that people check it out. I really hope people check out the game. It is on BackerKit. You can back at a low level to get a PDF. You can back for a hard copy. And we hope that we gain your support. This is a brand new idea within the Trinity Continuum multiverse, universe, call it what you like. The Continuum. Okay. And I think the book is just magnificent. I would love for people to check it out. Please do so. And if you've got any questions about the game, feel free to ask in the comments below or go over to the BackerKit and ask there. If this video convinces you to back the game, I would be hugely appreciative if you post in the comments on the BackerKit, I came here as a result of Matthew Dawkins or the Gentleman Gamers video. It tells me whether these videos have any kind of influence, but also it tells the people running the campaign that there are fans here. There are people who want to know more. I think that's a really good thing to find out about. So if you get the opportunity, please post there. It'll be much appreciated. Enjoy your time in the Steam Wars. Do something heroic and valiant for your alliance, for your power, for your people back home. Get a few medals pinned to your chest and march that Iron Giant to victory. Until next time.